Back at you with another one, baby. This one's the Hiya Exquisite Basic Godzilla King of the Monsters Burning Godzilla. Shout out to my boy Rich who sold them to me. What up, Rich? About to open this sucker up. I'm going to take the bubble wrap off and show you this box first. Okay, so we have the Hiya Exquisite Basic Godzilla King of the Monsters Burning Godzilla action figure. And we are just continuing the trend of really, really beautiful boxes from Hiya. It's just such a nice presentation for their figures. You could see here, you know, you basically have ruins all around them, kind of a burning, everything is on fire. And it's just really nice reds and oranges and yellows and browns. And it really conveys burning Godzilla. The box does. Excellent. Exquisite Basic Godzilla King of the Monsters with a picture of the figure right here and the Hiya logo. We have two nice pictures of the figure on the back. Produced by Hiya Toy Company Limited. Exquisite Basic Godzilla King of the Monsters with a nice silhouette. Then on this side, we have another beautiful shot of the figure right here, the Hiya logo, Godzilla King of the Monsters. And it's just a really nice box. The box is a great presentation. So let's get them out of there and we'll start the review. Okay, so just to show you the full packaging, we're having a standard clamshell that he's in. And he looks great right away. The colors are just popping as soon as you open it up. But yeah, just to give you an idea of the packaging. There's the Goji in the clamshell. Let's get him out of there. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Oh, wow. Look at that. That is nice. What an insane paint job. Right off the bat. That is sick. Look at those dorsal plates. Holy cow, this is painted crazy. Alright, so that's what we have so far. Let's let me take a look at this guy, pose him for a little bit, and then I'll come back and review him. All right, Hiya Burning Godzilla. Hell yeah. So, well, for one, this is my first Burning Godzilla. Well, first, you know, King of the Monsters Burning Godzilla, believe it or not. And I'm super glad that it's Hiya Toys version of Burning Godzilla that wound up being my first, because this is just beautiful. What a fantastic paint job on this thing. This is like a super crazy ballsy paint job. It's just a color frenzy. It's just splashed all over the place, and so many different colors chopped into it with all different kinds of cool dry brushing. Look at that. Look at the way the dorsal plates pop on this thing, man. And the contrast in colors too on different parts of them. You know what I mean? The way the dorsal plates pop out so bright, and where you have nice dark spots, dark red spots, dark black spots, you know. Now, the one thing that's a little weird, but not really, considering like the rest of the paint job, if you account for how the rest of the paint job is done, where you're seeing different colors shine through everywhere, then I guess you could kind of forgive the contrast between his neck and his face. I think it looks great, by the way. You know what I mean? But maybe you could say either the face should have a little more black in it or dark red in it. like it has like going down the tail, or the floating softer pieces should be a little lighter and not so black, so you don't have such a contrast from his dorsal plates to his neck to his face. You know, not that's neither here nor there, you know what I mean? It's a stylized approach to it. So, and it's also to signify that his atomic, that the atomic pulse is about to come, you know what I mean? Like, and his mouth and eyes are much lighter, so it's there to reflect that, you know? Especially when you open the mouth and you'll see the color, how it, you know, then it seems to go better with the face, and you get the idea of where they were going with that paint job. But this is just incredible, man. Incredible. The detail on this figure, look at that. Look at underneath. Look at that around his neck, the paint job. Later on when I lift his head up, I'll show you a little bit more of that detail under his chin. But beautiful. The toes are well done. The fingernails are excellent. Look at that. His eyes are just, you know, bright yellow with a little bit of a white eyeball in the middle of them. They look great. Yeah. And it's just a plethora of colors going on here. Like, I really, really love the paint job going all the way down the tail, you know, from his legs to the tail here. The dorsal plates are painted fantastic. Look at that, man. The way that goes down to the tip of the tail. That's very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, so the paint job is pretty cool on this. It's very, very different. I've seen some other Burning Godzillas that do kind of the opposite. They're red, or they have they're darker with more of the black in them, or they're just straight up Cheeto color. This has like a multitude of colors going through it to really help convey Burning Godzilla. So, yeah, let's pose him. Okay, now the tails are super crunchy on these Hiyas. You don't get exactly too much posability out of the tail as far as the curl or the bend in it. You know, you could curve it either way and a little bit up, but it doesn't have the range of motions as, say, an SH Monster Rod tail. But that's neither here nor there, because the tail is beautiful, man. Look at that. Look at that paint job going down the tail, man, and all of the colors. You know, that care was put into this paint job, you know. And then when you can see the open mouth here, you see why the face is the way it is, and it fits it more. The face blends in better when the mouth is open, and you see the way the inside of the mouth is done. You see the tongue is like a really nice, almost peach color, and then that helps it blend with the rest of the paint job of the figure, where it just basically balances it out at that point. And that's really, really nice. You know, you're gonna get now what I come to realize is your standard Hiya articulation. You're not getting much change here from the figures before it. But it does give you some nice underrated articulation where you could get some cool poses. I love the way the mouth is done. I love the way the teeth and tongue are done on this figure. The teeth look great. Look at that. Beautiful. They're painted like almost like a yellow with the peach tongue. That looks very, very nice. Awesome, man. Okay, so that's about as high as you're getting his head. They have definitely, you know, improved as they've gone along with these softer floating pieces by the neck to give it more mobility. They got tighter with it. from the first edition of the 2021. And so you can get them to look pretty high. I've seen some people online add extra ball joints and stuff to the head and the arms to make them look higher up or further down and make the arms move a little bit better. Hiya should really think about that, you know, like they're out there to see. People are like 3D printing ball joints and just fixing the mobility, the articulation of the figure. But, you know, he can look pretty high and it still looks really awesome. You know, I don't care about that stuff. I'm not going to sit here and add ball joints to figures. You know, a couple of the ones I seen were just 3D printed. So, but it's cool. You know, what they ultimately were able to turn the figure into is cool. But nonetheless, this still has posability. Like I said, the tail is kind of crunchy. You know, you're just not really curling it up any higher than that. So, but that's fine. You get a nice side to side and a little curve up, you know, and looks great. I just want to show you the detail going up his neck to right underneath his chin. Excellent. Yeah, now you're going to get the one big ball joint at the waist. So you can pretty much turn them to the side like that, which is cool. It works okay, you know. They may improve upon it in the future, but I think it's fine. You know what I mean? To just, you could get them to turn to the side and get them in a cool pose like this, which is very nice. You know, that's about as far as you're getting that tail to curve. You know, it doesn't feel like it's capable of more than that, you know. You could still get this guy into some dynamic poses. So, you know, now Burning Godzilla basically became Burning Godzilla when, you know, he was injured by the Oxygen Destroyer and he was charging up in his lair in the water, and Dr. Serizawa went down there and sacrificed himself by bringing the nuclear weapon in there and setting it off so that it charged Godzilla up, you know. And basically it was too much. He was starting to overheat and was going to explode. And then when King Ghidorah almost beat him and Mothra had to basically give him her life force, then he was able to control it, basically, and let it out in a nuclear pulse and kill King Ghidorah, you know. And so that was such a cool scene in the movie, and it's great to now have a figure of it, a really, really nice figure of it as a representation of that scene, you know. And I'll tell you what, you know, this is now my 4th Hiya. I went from having none to having 4 in a 2-week time span, and I really, really love all of them in their own way. Very, very happy with this purchase. I'm happy to get this guy. He looks really, really nice. Look at that. That's awesome, man. You could get him into a really nice tail off the ground pose, you know. People say these things, these Hiyas have limited articulation, but look at that. You know, that looks awesome. You could get them into some really, really cool poses. I love that, man. If you balance them correctly, that's a beautiful tail off the ground pose for Burning Godzilla. Excellent, man. Of course, you could definitely get him into pretty much a nice swimming pose. Not that he's going to be swimming like this, but yeah, he could be. I don't know. He was swimming when he was burning in Godzilla vs. Destroyer, but this is a different... Anyway, you could get him into the pose. You could get him into a really nice running pose. You know? That looks great. Excellent, man. You do have nice mobility on these, I'll tell you what. Very, very cool. All right, so now I want to compare it with the regular Hiya 2019. So basically this right here is when he rolled up on King Ghidorah before he let the nuclear pulse out and melted him. And this is him basically roaring into the sky at the end of the movie as the king of the monsters, when all the other monsters are acknowledging him, basically coming out of the clouds of dust. And, you know, I tell you the truth, the paint job on these two figures so reflect those scenes, you know what I mean? This does a great job of, you know, making it look like the burning Godzilla right before he releases his nuclear pulse, from the dorsal plates to the body, to the face, to the inside of the mouth and tongue. Excellent. You know, and this right here is when he basically rises up out of the dust after he defeats King Ghidorah, spits his head out of his mouth, and then all the other monsters acknowledge him as the king, and he just roars into the sky at the end of the movie. But it's a dusty, you know, a dusty paint job, sandy paint job, which is basically how he came out of the dust and clouds after defeating King Ghidorah, you know. So these look great together. Definitely going to be posing these next to each other, you know. It's burning Godzilla, and then there's Godzilla after he expelled all of that nuclear energy. Fantastic, man. I mean, Hiya is great. I'm so happy. Like, you know, a couple weeks ago, I didn't own any. I didn't really, you know, I couldn't really comment on them because you don't really know what the figures are like until you have them in hand. And, you know, now that I've experienced several of them, I'm definitely going to keep getting them. And I have a bunch more on pre-order. They're just beautiful figures. Okay, so let's go on to the next shot. Okay, and here are all of the Hiyas that I own so far. The 2019 regular version, the 2019 Burning Godzilla, the 2021 first edition, which looks awesome. Very, very underrated figure. Look how tough that looks. And then the Mac Daddy of them all, the 2024, which just looks fantastic. The look, from the look to the paint job. Each one of these has great things about them. Excellent, man. Really, really love these, and they're all very different in their own way. Super cool, man. So, yeah, that's it for now. Hopefully I'll get some more Hiyas soon. All right. So, sorry, this is the only King Ghidorah I have right now, you know? That's crazy to say, but I mostly collect Godzilla, you know what I mean? I'm looking to get Godzilla figures first. It's not like I'm not into the other kaiju. I like them, you know. I just rather buy Godzilla figures than spend like, I don't know, $230 on a SH Monster Arts Ghidorah that you need little stands to help keep it stand up or something. I don't know. But, you know, I do have the Tamashii Nation store in NYC near me. They have the Ghidorahs right now. They have the 2019 Ghidorah and the Mecha King Ghidorah. But, and Hiya's Ghidorah is nice. And the new classic Ghidorah that Hiya announced is very nice. So perhaps I will be getting some King Ghidorahs shortly, you know. And another thing too is King Ghidorah is huge. You need a lot of space for King Ghidorah figures, so I really don't want too many of those, you know. I might ultimately just buy 4. The 2019 SH Monster Arts, the Mecha SH Monster Arts, the 2019 Hiya, and the 91 Hiya, and call it a day. You know what I mean? Just spend the money, get them, and then that's it. I don't really need a Ghidorah figure, unless he winds up being a character in Godzilla -1, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, and speaking of -1, I do happen to have this guy from the Godzilla to Ride set, so... You know, if they're going to do a sequel of -1 and use this design and make this design into an SH Monster Arts or a Hiya, then I definitely will be getting that, because I love this design. I love the wings on this design. One of my favorite Ghidorah designs. So, you know, who knows? Maybe in the future I'll have a couple Ghidorah figures. Now, just to compare it with the only other Burning Godzilla I own, Playmates Burning Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Of course, this is a different Burning Godzilla, you know. It's the Heisei era Burning Godzilla. But it's the only other Burning Godzilla that I own, which that I need to take care of as well. You know what I mean? See, like, you could talk about getting figures of King Ghidorah, but then I don't have really a lot of Burning Godzillas, so I want them first. And that's how collecting is, you know. But, yeah. So, these are my two Burning Godzillas for now. So, overall, this is an excellent figure. I highly recommend it. It's another figure that Hiya basically completely knocked it out of the park with. Fantastic paint job. Screen accurate for the most part, you know what I mean? The paint job might be a little, let's say, stylized from how he appeared in the movie. Maybe he was a little darker in certain spots. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely nice, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has a different take on Burning Godzilla. Let's just say that. None of them really look the same, you know what I mean? And none of them are 100% screen accurate. All of them are basically stylized approaches of it. And this is, you know, this is right up there. Catches it nicely. Certainly looks awesome. And I'm extremely happy to have him. So, if you like this guy, go out there and get you some Burning Goji. Yeah. Till we meet again, folk. Peace out.